Welcome, welcome everybody to today's stream. Give me a second. Welcome, welcome. I hope you had a nice day so far. Welcome, Emily. Welcome, welcome. So there we go. There we go. Welcome. I'm already in a fractal. I found a group instantly, so that's what we're gonna start out today. As always, if you have any questions, any comments, please let me know. Like I already have in the title, I'm doing a giveaway right now because we reached 5k subs on my YouTube channel. So if you want to participate, just type !giveaway in the Twitch chat, or even better, just check out my YouTube video that I released a few hours ago if you're on my YouTube channel. Welcome, pardon, welcome, welcome. Yes, of course we started with the best fractal. A nice PvP main with us. Very good. Of course, I'm playing a not meta pick with a power chronomancer in this so-called Condi fractal, but it's still working decently fine. Yeah. Welcome, Brittany, welcome. Welcome, everyone. I hope you had a nice day so far. Let's have some fun together and play some Guild Wars. And as always, if you have any stuff that you want to get answers, whatever, let me know. I'm always happy to debate stuff. And also, of course, if you're a new player, if you're a veteran, whatever, you want some help with something regarding Guild Wars 2, I'm also always very happy to help you. And especially when it regards some kind of build crafting, I'm always into that. So let me know. Yeah, this is really, I really hope that the next fractal that comes out is not like this. Yeah, this feels like some kind of strike boss in a 5-player environment. Yeah, and I feel like this is not how fractals are supposed to be. I think fractals are really made for 5 people that want to have some kind of fast-paced environment where you kill mobs, where you kill maybe some kind of boss, but where you not fight a single boss for 10 minutes. Yeah, that seems like it's absolutely against the classical gameplay loop of a fractal. Yeah, and I really hope that the new upcoming fractal that will probably release, I don't know, in a few months, or not even 1.5 months now. So I hope that this one will actually be somewhat more like the classical fractals, maybe like Nightmare Fractal, like maybe even like Shattered Observatory, you know, those really classic fractals, yeah. And this one and Lonely Tower, I feel like you have to really look for people that actually enjoy those fractals. I feel like it's like almost anyone, at least in my chat, says this fractal and Lonely Tower are the worst fractals they, at least in the last few years, made. Yeah, maybe it's contested by Siren's Reef, but that's about it, I would say. It's crazy. My boon up time is higher than that of a Healing Firebrand. You can see this is why people actually don't really like to have Heal Firebrands if they don't provide their boons for that long, if they don't stand and position themselves correctly. Yeah, exactly. I guess a lot of people agree with you, Brittany. That's completely usual, I would say, that people don't really enjoy this fractal. It's just very long. It feels very long, and it feels not very entertaining. You know, it's a lot of split and a lot of downtime where you can't attack the boss, or where it doesn't feel that great. It just feels quite annoying. Yeah, I think annoying is the correct word. It's not even hard. I personally think this is one of the easiest challenge modes to play right now. Yeah, especially with the power creep. But that doesn't make it better in that sense, because it's still a fractal where I would say I would rather not play it if it didn't give me so many rewards. Yeah. Got our butts kicked here the other day. On the bright side, they're willing to stack for my heals now. I mean, that's how they learn, you know. Sometimes you have to learn the hard way. I hope you had fun still. Yeah, that's the most important part. Was thinking giveaways in 1 week or so? No. Yesterday I streamed and I had I don't know, was really close to 5k subs on my YouTube channel. And like I said, it was quite predictable to achieve it today. So that's what we got. And now we have the giveaway going for the next 7 days. So be sure to check it out. It's for 2k gold, even more. So it's definitely worth taking part in. Yeah, I feel like this fight is really, I think the most annoying part about this fight, as for most fractal fight or for most boss fights in Guild Wars 2, is that the last 33% is supposed to be the hardest part, which is, I think, is a very classical design. The longer the boss fight goes, the harder it gets. But I feel like, and that's the big problem here, this fight takes forever for whatever reason. It feels very slow. And if you get to the last phase, you might fail because someone dies, something happens. And this feels then very, very bad if you have to do the whole thing that was somewhat easy again because you died in the last few percent. That feels horrible. So I'm always really happy when I find a group that is somewhat capable of just... Oh, he's invulnerable. That is somewhat capable of doing the mechanics here, even if the DPS is not crazy. I'm happy when we just succeed with this fractal. Yeah, you see, someone died. Happens, but if at least one or two more people die, we have a problem. Especially if this guy had to do something, we have to do it again. Yeah, we vibe here. Yeah, that's why I hate this fractal. You know, I did it for 5 minutes now, and then we have to reset just because someone failed. I can't change that. It's horrible. Welcome, Snowdrop. Welcome. You perfectly joined to see some really nice puck fractals with the most amazing fractal out there, Silent Surf. Yeah, it's crazy. You catch a stream. Very good. I like it. Very good. Yeah, I mean, it happens that you fail in the last few percentages with the mechanics. I think that's okay. Just, it's really annoying if this is the reason why we die. Because someone has to do the mob killing on an island, they fail the mechanic, and we all die and have to reset. It's horrible. I think that's one of the worst designs for fractals, because normally you can, with most fractals, you can actually take part in another person's mechanic, and you can, so to say, help them or take their part. But in this fractal, it's just straight up impossible. If someone gets the tether, they fail, and you have to reset. It's horrible. I hate that. But what can you do? You know, I just like I said, I really hope the new fractal that will come out is some challenge mode that is very engaging. Somewhat, I wouldn't say difficult, but somewhat challenging, that it's fun to play and it's not something that you just brain AFK and kill in a few minutes. I think it should be interesting and you should take a while to figure out how to do it. But then it should only take at least, say, 5 to 10 minutes and you don't have mechanics like those really punishing one-shot attacks that if someone fails and you have to restart again. I think that's not something that you want to see. And I think most of the fractal gamers would agree with me, but sadly we are not the designers of fractals, so we will see if the ArenaNet fractal team is agreeing with us there, or if they want to reduce maybe some kind of Titan fight and it's some kind of raid boss just for 5 people. I think that's not that unlikely, to be honest. What is the best thief spec for instance content? I think that depends a bit on what kind of role you want to fill, because of course DPS, it's very good if you play, for example, Deadeye, and if you go for a really try-hard Deadeye build, but this isn't really that easy. So when it comes to a very decent Deadeye pick or decent class for the damage output for an average player, I would go for Spectre. It's quite good for Condi fights. And Daredevil is actually also quite nice. It's quite underrated, I would say, how good Daredevil is. So I think Thief as a DPS is actually quite nice, but as a support, you typically just have Spectre. All the others are either quite lackluster for usual groups because they don't have that much support, or you have, with Deadeye, a really nice quickness DPS build, but that only provides quickness. So typically you don't run that in fractals for the most part because you don't have any utility baked into the kit that can help with stability and mechanics and stuff. But if your team can manage, then I would go for quickness DPS that actually. Welcome, Alison, welcome. I think this is the best option, yeah. Yeah, I really hope we get an easy fractal in normal mode and a somewhat nice, challenging, but not too crazy, boring fractal like Lonely Tower or something like that. Or even this one here with the next patch. I think it should be really something for everyone. So the normal mode should be really easy, really fun, and quite fast without having any painful mechanics in there. And the challenge mode should be maybe a little bit more challenging, but not necessarily longer. Just a little bit more punishing maybe, and you still have maybe 5 to 7 minutes of a fight. I think that's the ideal length for fractal. Maybe up to 10 minutes depending how fun it is, how changing the fight is, because if it's always the same like this one where you don't have any changes during the fight, I think that's bad. But if the fight changes drastically, then it's okay. Yeah. Usually there's Condi and power builds. What do you think is overall better? Power for sure. I think power builds are just straight up superior for 99% of the content. Because why would you delay your DPS for a bit? The ramp up phases in a lot of fights are just too short to actually make Condi builds in a lot of fights viable. There are only a few exceptions where Condi builds work because you have less phases or you have a lot of ranged uptime where power builds typically struggle with. So typically I would highly recommend you to go for a power build first and only go for a Condi build if you need that because of the fight that you currently are engaging in. Doesn't mean they are bad, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of really good Condi builds out there, but I personally would always prefer a power build in my squad setup or my fractal group, for example. This is one of the only fights where I would say ranged builds, typically Condi builds, are better. Yeah, I really hope when Guild Wars 3 comes out, the next expansion comes out, we get more of those just easy fractals, dungeons, whatever, brain AFK content where you can actually just enjoy and spam your buttons. I think that's something that a lot of the community actually enjoys, and I really hope we get more of that. Because you don't need always try-hard content. I think just having content that gives more general, I don't know, longevity by having a fun, fast-paced combat in some kind of PvE scenario, I think that's really, really good. I personally really liked it. Yes, there is a giveaway on my YouTube channel going because we reached 5k subs. So if you want to participate, just check out my YouTube channel and there will be a giveaway video where I explain how to participate. I will give away over 2k gold, so be sure to watch out for that video. It's currently up. We have 7 days to watch it, and yeah, good luck to all of you. No, the giveaway is on the YouTube channel. It's not on my Twitch because it's a YouTube subscriber celebration, and of course I want to have that for my YouTube subscribers. Yes. Yeah, I think I think personally having more fun content in a shorter time without having a content variation like strike missions that take, let's say, 15 minutes, I think that's too long for the average gamer. I think it should be between 5 and 10 minutes and you will be happy to get some rewards. It doesn't have to be crazy rewards. Don't get me wrong. I think for 5-minute contents, I don't want to get 20 gold out of that. I'm just having a blast by having a 5-minute content, going in, clearing it, going into the next thing. I think that's very fun to me. And I think a lot of people, especially fractal gamers, would enjoy that as well. So we finally killed this boss after the second try, I hope. I'm second DPS as a alacrity support, I guess. It's fine. I've never done any CMs. I'm too scared of doing anything bad, especially since I don't understand English that well. I mean, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just maybe go into some kind of training group if you want to do it, because the CMs are actually not that hard, especially with the power creep nowadays. Just maybe watch a video and understand how the mechanics work and you will be good, especially in a training. Yeah. Yeah, maybe Lonely Tower should just pay you 20 gold and then people would actually enjoy it, you know, just because they are reward driven and they don't care what they actually do. If you get enough rewards, maybe that's the solution. I personally don't like that, but I would rather play something that is fun and gives not as much gold. Just if it's fun, I would play it. You know, it's not like I play fractals for gold. I play because I really enjoy fractals. Yeah. What do I need to assign the giveaway? Just watch the video that I posted on my YouTube channel, and everything is explained in there. Can you tell me quick how to do Bone Skinner? So Bone Skinner is very easy if you just move when the attack is happening. So he stands up with one of his legs or two of his legs, and then you just have to, it's very easy actually, you just have to sidestep this attack and you will be completely fine. Just the most important thing is that you don't do cast attacks that are typically rooting you in place, or you move to the boss and stuff. If you have that, be careful, don't use that in the first part of the fight. After that, just always sidestep it when the boss is raising his hand. And other than that, it's quite straightforward. I would say the most important part is learning the animations of the boss, but typically sidestepping, then you don't really need to dodge any attacks if you understand how to sidestep. If you want a dedicated guide, I actually have that on my YouTube channel as well. You just have to look for Bone Skinner on my YouTube channel, and there is I think a 5-minute video where I explain every single mechanic and how to deal with it from the Bone Skinner. Yeah, exactly. 98 cm, I think the last part, yeah, that's true. It might be a little bit more challenging, but I think it's also just understanding the attack pattern. As soon as you understood the attack pattern, it's actually not a big deal. It's just getting used to how the attacks work, how you can negate a lot of them, and you will be very, very fine. So just try to keep your patience and just learn everything, and at some point you will be good without any big problems. Yeah, I think personally, fractals are I think for a lot of people, fractals are really underestimated how much gold they give. And I think if people would know about that, then people would actually do fractal CMs way more as well. And I hope they will just include more stuff for a little bit less try-hard players as well, so that fractals are even better and people will just engage with them. For example, I think a fractal agony rework would be amazing, so that people that are just playing fractals casually don't have to always gear their characters with the agony resistance for every single character that they want to play. Maybe it's account-wide, and then you don't have that problem, and people would try out more fractals. I think that would be amazing. I personally think that's a feature that should be in the game baseline since release, and they didn't do it yet. I think it should be really in the game. Yeah. Welcome, Filthy. Welcome. Hope you're doing well today. I hope you're all doing well today. Yeah. Is there any reason that there's only a few ways to get mystic coins? I think if there would be too many ways to actually get mystic coins, I think the prices would drop, and they really value the prices of mystic coins. They think having high mystic coin prices is something that is actually working positively in the economy and making it a little bit more, people are happy, way more excited when they actually find mystic coins and get mystic coins from the few sources where you actually get mystic coins. I think that's the biggest reason why they actually do it like that. But I personally think, especially if you're playing a lot of open world and doing some world versus world, you get some mystic coins, but the amount that you get is just very low. The biggest part where you actually get mystic coins is just from the Wizard's World, straight up. And that's just monthly or kept in that way. So you will not receive mystic coins in a really long term fashion every single day. If you play this content, it's just not possible. You have to get it with them via the Wizard's World. That's just how it is, and I think that's okay. I think they are worth a lot, but if you don't do legendaries or get the mystic clovers other way, you don't need them actually that much. Yeah. But I will do some giveaways, so don't worry. We will give away some mystic coins, so if you're in need, be sure to check out my giveaway. Thanks for that nice transition, by the way. Yeah, I think the agony system is an interesting system, but you already have this kind of system with the, how is it called? The fractal level. Yeah, exactly, that's how it's called. The fractal level is already some kind of system that helps you increase your character progression to some extent. And I feel like having the agony on top of that for every single character makes it really annoying. I feel like it's just annoying at this point. Yeah. And this is not something that I personally really enjoy, to level my character's agony level. I personally don't have a problem because I'm a veteran. I can afford getting all the agony infusions and I know how to work with them and how to make it work for every single character. And I also have Fractal God, so it's quite easy for me. Yes, I know. But even I am quite a bit annoyed by them. So I personally think it would be amazing if you had some kind of feature that just helps you convert your agony account-wide stuff. Maybe just have infusion being some kind of skin, some kind of wardrobe feature. And some kind of wardrobe feature. And this should be, in my opinion, something that you can equip in the wardrobe without any stats. And if you, as soon as you get an infusion that you want to equip, you will, in my opinion, be forced to bind it to your account. That's how it should be. And with that, you then get the skin of the infusion. So, for example, the Chuck skin will be available to your account. Every single character can use it, but it's lost out of the economy. So you can't resell it. And that, in my opinion, would be a great feature to help with the agony system, while also help people to get their fashion going, yeah, without having to always invest 10k gold for a new Chuck infusion for the second character or something. Yeah. That's what I personally think. Oh, this one will not be good. Yeah, that was it's okay. But typically DPS goes left, DPS goes right, and support goes right, left. So I was correct. The DPS was not correct. It's fine. I hope. Oh no, it's not fine. I mean, we can still do it. I'm DPS and we have another DPS with us, so it should be fine, but it's a little bit scuffed, I have to be honest. Sorry, I have to concentrate here for a bit. I don't want to fail my group here, just because I read the chat. Yeah, so like I was saying, DPS should go right on the Sorrow, and the elect DPS and the quick heal should go on the same thing on the left. So we should be good normally, and you can also have one revive with the Fractlox singularities, so you can actually ignore one of them. Welcome, Caspi, welcome. I still don't know why they haven't reduced the amount needed for Gen 2. It's one of the biggest gold things in crafting, especially after slashing Mystic Coins from CMs. Yeah, I think that's something that I don't understand as well. I personally think it's a good thing to have legendaries at some kind of 2k gold price, but I feel like it's really weird if you have one generation that is just straight up more expensive than another generation. And for me, I think the only thing that would make sense is some kind of the newest legendary should be more expensive because more people like it, yeah? And older ones should be cheaper. But currently, Generation 2s are just straight up the most expensive ones, which is really weird because why? You know, it's not like they are quite new. No, not at all. It's just because they have Mystic Coins in the recipe, yeah? And I would say quite a lot of Mystic Coins. That's the reason here. So, yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's probably an oversight and they don't really care to fix it. That's the most likely scenario, personally. I don't know, but yeah, I really hope they address this kind of issue. Let me concentrate here for a second. I don't want to wipe my group again. No, I did all my stuff out of CS. It's okay. Yeah, Fractal God is really good. Fractal God is helping a lot, not only with rewards, but also with the agony stuff. I think that's how it should be. I think Fractal God should be extended to 10 levels or something, and you should get all your agony from Fractal achievements like that. I think that's how it should be. Some kind of account-bound mastery system for Fractals only. I think that would make the life of new players way easier. Yeah. And you can't buy Gen 2, that's another thing. Yeah, definitely. You have to craft them, and I think the crafting process is so annoying. If you craft everything yourself, you stand there for hours on the crafting bench, which is hilarious to me because that's not very interactive at all, you know? A legendary should be some kind of prestigious item, and you stand there at the crafting bench for hours if you craft them yourself. It's insane, actually. Yeah, to have over 1k more expensive legendaries just for whatever reason that they are actually Generation 2 and not Generation 1, it's actually insane. They have some really nice skins in there, which is a bummer for people that really like those skins. But I feel like there should be not a single reason, even if the skins are crazy good, that you have to have over 1k more to pay for this legendaries. It's not. There is no reason for that. Yeah, I'm not sure if they always think, oh, we fixed the problem with the mystic coins because we introduce more ways of mystic coins to just get them for rewards. But I feel like that they never fix it. It's always the same. I don't know. I think the quest, to be honest, Malesung, I think the quest is actually an interesting thing. I think a lot of people actually enjoy the quest. I think the questing of those, I think it's 4 legendaries. Chukan Champawat, Astrolaria, Nevermore, Hope. I think those 4 are having a quest. And I think those are actually quite interesting. I personally think that's a really cool flavor thing as a roleplay thing, yeah? I just think it's somewhat annoying if you want to get the legendary now. Yes, I get that. But I feel like it's some kind of, if you see someone with Chukan Champawat, they did the quest. Yeah. They engaged with content to get this specific legendary. I think that's a good thing. Even though it might be annoying for some people. Yeah. But I can see why they scratched it, because it's way too much effort, apparently, to them to actually get this going. Yeah. Because it's so much development time put into this quest that only a fraction of the player base will engage with. So that's just sad, but I can see why they did this. But I think the alternative of the Gen 2 is not having a quest and crafting for 1 hour. I think that's horrible. I think that's horrible. In my opinion, there should be a quest without the crafting. Yeah. But what can you do? What can you do? Yeah, the jumping puzzle might be a pain. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I think Chris, crafting legendaries should be some kind of commitment. You should not craft a legendary like just saying, oh, today I want to open my bank and I get a legendary. I think that should not be the case. I think legendary should be a long-term commitment for players, and you should at least maybe have 1 to 4 weeks where you really say, okay, I dedicate all my materials, maybe even a year, depending on how much time you actually put into the game each week. That should be happening, that you really engage with the content to get those amount of materials that you need for that, and just don't spend on anything else. That's how it should be, in my opinion. Yes, that might be annoying for people that want to have the legendary now, but I feel like there should be some kind of long-term reward for people. Yeah. Welcome, Anados. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I can reflect. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely with the economy that the mystic coins that they have to balance it so that we have enough supply of them while still having them somewhat expensive, and they actually get some kind of taxes out of them. I think that makes sense, but it's not something that I particularly enjoy, because that means that I can't really farm them for the most part, and it's not a very fun and engaging thing to say people, yeah, just come back in 2 or 3 months to get more of the mystic coins in the Wizards world. I think that's a little bit boring, but I mean, it's better than to say, yeah, it's a random drop from this event. I think that's even worse. So I personally think it's okay, but yeah, what can you do? Yeah, Flames of War is horrible. I think it's the worst legendaries in there, but they're also probably the nicest looking ones in there as well. So they have a wide spread. That much is for sure. Yeah, the pistol is nice, and I think they have a lot of nice ones. I rated them in my tier list, and I think I was surprised how many nice ones are actually in there. And I think that's a good thing, for sure. Now I have to leave, so I can't do the reflect. Okay, it's fine. Good. I have so much CC baseline in my kit, it's actually insane. Almost every skill on my bar is actually CCing. It's actually crazy. I love Chronomancer. Yeah, if you do all the achievements for the free legendary amulet, you can get anything from it. Yeah, that's true. I think this is one of the best legendaries that they introduced because it was really pushing people into old content without any new development effort. So I'm really happy that they did that. I think they can't do that every time because at some point people have legendaries and you want to get also some kind of gold investment for them going. I see that. But personally, I think it was one of the best ways, especially because it's an amulet, which is obviously really, really good. I think we go like this, yeah. Maybe precursors should not be tradable. That's an interesting take. I think a lot of people that play the game regularly would agree with that, but at the same time, you have people that don't play the game for that long and want to just swipe a legendary. I think that's also okay. That might be a hot take, but I feel like having at least a few legendaries that you can just buy by engaging with real money. I think for people that actually play the game in some kind of... this is why I don't like to be on this duty, because I can't provide alacrity for all the time, but it's okay. So, yeah, I personally think getting legendaries from the TP is a little bit sad from the prestigious side of things, but I can see why people would make the argument that they just don't have enough time to farm enough money to do crafting legendaries. And I see both sides of the argument. I have to be honest. I see both of them. Yeah, it's really hard. Yeah, I agree with snowdrops. I think the achievements of the return to achievements are amazing. I think they should do one more of those. Maybe for, I don't know, maybe for a ring, because it's currently not really possible to get a ring from PvE, at least as I know. So that would be good. But I'm not sure if they want to commit to that. I personally think I'm not sure if they really want to introduce more legendaries after the backpack. I think they will reduce the amount of legendaries that they introduce. I think there will be one each expansion, and those are tied to the expansion and not old content. I have to be honest. I don't see it happening that we get old content legendaries without a complete rework of how they're actually structuring their release schedule. I personally think they are just pushing for new content, and that's it. I think they don't want you to engage in old content except from the events that are happening every now and then, but they don't want you to really... They don't want to invest more time into creating content for just older maps. I think that doesn't sell that well for them, I think. Which is a bummer. I would really like that. Yeah. I crafted my first legendary room because I don't have the time or the motivation to farm and craft legendaries armor. I thought it was a compromise. I mean, makes sense. Makes sense. I think multiple of those are actually really good, but one is better than none, I guess, but it's not the best without having 5 others of those, definitely. How am I actually second DPS? What? I'm not even looking at the boss fight. Okay, I'm third now. It's fine. Is there anything else in the game like Seasons of the Dragons? Not really, to be honest. I think that's one of the best things they did, and they only did it once. That's the sad part. It's still very worthwhile for a new player if you haven't done it, but it's not like you can recommend something else after that. It's just one-time thing. Yeah. Yeah, maybe they could do Legendary Aquapedia and Legendary Shadebot. I'm not sure what the Shadebot would actually do, but I feel like they could introduce that. But if they would do that, especially the Aquapedia would be in a new expansion. The Shadebot could be some kind of return to End of Dragons achievement, maybe. But to be honest, I feel like that's such a big effort. They would probably say, no, we delay the next expansion for another 3 months, and as an excuse, we will give you some kind of activity that you can do in the meantime. You would get the Legendary Shadebot with the Return to achievement. I think that might be the case, but I don't see it happening, to be honest. I think the Shadebot is bound to EOD, and I'm not sure if they really want to commit more time to the Shadebot, to be honest. I don't see that happening. Maybe we get some kind of rework, like the Warclaw rework, because Warclaw was released before Chantia Wilds, and we still got a rework in Chantia Wilds with it. Maybe that's gonna happen. I don't know. Which elementalist spec fits Char the most? Boy, that's a really tough question. I don't know. Maybe Tempest, because the Olmacan in Sunswept Eyes are actually somewhat of a... I couldn't do it. Couldn't solo CC this. Sad. And now we CC. That's one of the worst CCs I've ever seen. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, so I think Tempest would be some kind of Olmacan way because they have some kind of mystic Tempest, some kind of that going. I'm not a lore, let's say. I don't know that much about lore, so maybe you have to ask someone in chat that actually knows about that, but I think that might be the most fitting one for Char. Tempest, I guess. I'm currently working on the Shensn. It's very easy. It just takes a lot of time. I mean, that's how Legendary are supposed to be. It's not like they are challenging. It's more like they're just a time sink, and for the most part also a gold sink. But that's probably in Guild Wars 2 just the same thing. That wasn't that good, but okay, it's fine. We did it. Scepter core Ellie and call yourself the Titan's Disciple. Then rain fire on the world of animals. I mean, could that sounds interesting. I see Filthy doing that, but I'm not sure if that's really the craziest thing to actually do. Do I have some kind of focus here? I will take this one. Yeah, maybe. I think having the different protocols going into one legendary thing and you don't have to swap them around all the time, I think that would be amazing. I personally would really like that. But I'm not sure if it's worth a legendary because the chatbot doesn't really provide anything else than the protocols. I'm not sure if that's... Maybe they could make the chatbot core... that would also be crazy if they would increase the chatbot core level to higher because you get more stats from that. I think that would also be not a very nice thing to do because that would be some kind of pay to win feature. I don't know. I really... What? I hate it. This is annoying me. I sometimes hit the button. I should really just decrease this where this button is. And it casts on the mob. It's really annoying. I really don't like it. I like to cast where my cursor is. It's fine, we did it. Grinding for the rest of the life for that. Yeah, I mean, I guess that could be the case, yeah. Welcome, Echo Fox. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, thanks, Glaudo. Thanks. It was a really nice milestone. I'm really happy that I reached it, and I hope we can continue on pushing more subscribers and more content for you. I hope that works out. Yeah. See you, Brittany. See you. See you. So if you're wondering, sometimes I'm talking to people that you might not read the chat in Twitch. That's because I also have stream on YouTube, and I'm not allowed to share my YouTube chat with you on Twitch. So keep that in mind. But I try to, if there are questions, I try to read them out loud, so you should actually know what is happening. And thanks for the follows that I missed. Nibin, Peregrine, Twirl, Lion. Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Legendary chatbot could function like endless repair. You refill your protocols if they end and maybe a third slot. I mean, that makes sense, maybe, yeah. I mean, I think it should be then like the other legendary relics right now, that you have to get them once and then you unlock them. I think that's how it should be. But I guess that's just a very small thing. But I personally would like that, yeah. I would go for it as soon as they release it, even if it wouldn't be any crazy feature, just because I want to have it. You know, I'm a completionist, of course, but even if they have some crazy features, I think a lot of people would go for it, even if they don't have crazy features, rather. So I think that's a cool thing. I think increasing the amount of legendaries they push out is just generally a good thing. I think there is almost no negatives about pushing out more legendaries. if they have enough resources to actually do so. Of course, if it takes forever to produce one legendary as a design or whatever, then maybe it's not the wisest thing. If people typically don't get the legendary on average, the majority of Guild Wars 2 players, I don't know, have one legendary, don't have a legendary on average, which is obviously insane because there are people like me that have hundreds. But yeah, I don't know. Feels crazy for me, yeah, that the average is almost no legendary. But I guess that makes sense, you know, a lot of people that play Guild Wars 2 are just casual players, and I guess that's fine, but maybe then it's not worth it for them to actually develop legendaries in the future. I see both sides of the argument, yeah, again, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely worth streaming, I guess. No. I tried Scrapper on 96 TM today. I mean, you die always fast if you play a very squishy build. That's just how it goes, you know. You have to learn it first. It's don't be sad about that. Oh, I should have CC'd here. It's fine. And I think Scrapper is really good, especially if you enjoy the class and the playstyle, because there is not a real rotation in that sense. It's more like a priority list. If you can understand that and how it works, then you will be good. If you really need a try-hard rotation and follow each step and memorize it, then it's a little bit harder to play. But even then, I think it's not crazy hard. I think you just need to practice as Echo Fox. I think it's not something that you will not be able to do, especially as a Scourge main. I think you already understand the priority list system. So just don't give up. Yeah, that's my advice there. Ooh, now it's getting a little bit close here. Yeah, Aurora is nice, and getting the free legendary is also nice. So in total, I think you can actually get nowadays quite fast legendaries and quite nice ones as well. Especially the trinkets, I would say. If you are an achievement enjoyer, you actually can get quite a lot of the achievements for them and get quite a big value for them, I would say. And for the time, at least, that you spend on them. So I made a tier list about what kind of legendary item I would go for first. And I think armor is still a very good one, which is sad because it's a very grindy one as well. But the trinkets is probably a close second, yeah. Yeah, I think for me it's very worthwhile to go for legendaries. Even if I don't like the skin, I go for legendaries that I don't have already, because I just want to have the option to swap around my gear and my stats all the time. It helps a lot. I think it's really good, for sure. Okay. I mean, maybe you should play Heal Scrapper. Maybe that's correct. I mean, don't get me wrong, Echo Fox, but sometimes you have to accept that you might not be the best DPS and go for some kind of healing or quick DPS build and carry your creep maybe another way, if that's the reason. But if you enjoy DPS, you just have to train harder. That's how it goes. You will get it at some point. Exactly, purple in every hole. I didn't want to mention it, but that's what I want to be. You know, that's I already am, and I hope I can maintain that status. That would be amazing. Yeah. Hey, from the POV of a player who is reaching EOD with his first character, a thief, from a general POV, to be honest, how do you suggest go about all characters? Do I have to do the whole manual leveling again? No. I would use a boost and maybe use some kind of Tomes of Knowledge, maybe even crafting to level your second character. I think going for one character, going through the story, going through all the stuff that you would do with the exploration and stuff to level your character is fine. And then after that, you would probably go for just leveling it with, for example, like I said, Tomes of Knowledge or experience scrolls from birthday boosts and that kind of stuff. So there are a lot of ways actually to get this done without leveling your character again. So don't worry about it. If you enjoy another class, go for it. You will have a good time then. Just be aware that you have to learn the class. You just can't say, I'm level 80, I know what to do. Just leave all the skills and you will be fine as well. Yeah. Stop it. I had 3 Scrabbers as Scourge and Siren's Thief today. I guess how much super spin was dealt with. I mean, that's cool. I mean, exactly 0. That sounds horrible then. I'm not sure what they were doing then, because I would expect that you had permanent super speed there. But I guess we also have 2 Mesmers and we didn't have any portal here, so I was too concentrated on reading chat, so I have an excuse, you know? Yeah, no, I'm joking. I have 5 of 5 on the Ice Blue chest. How can I open it? You need 3 blue Prophet crystals to open it, so that, or at least 1. You can open it with 1, but I would highly recommend to open it with 3 to get more loot. You get those by completing Ice Brood Saga Strike Missions priorities list. So this one gives 3 Prophet crystals per week if you go for 1 of those priority strikes of the Ice Brood Saga. You need only 1 to open the chest, like I said, but 3 should be your goal, because then you get more loot out of them. What content is great for Rival Deadeye? Kadim 2, so raids, and you play Kadim 1 and 2. Those are really nice. So both the Kadims for Rival, because you are the kiter then, but I guess that's not what you wanted to hear. I think overall I would say Rival Deadeye is quite high on the DPS. It's actually, I think, one of the best DPS builds right now, but you really have to know how to play it, and that's the big problem. So if you know how to play it, I think a lot of bosses, especially the easy ones, are really, you will be top DPS all the time. So I think it's highly underrated how good that is. Yeah. No, you don't. If you go for a second character, you have to unlock your map again, but you don't have to do the story again, because the achievements for the story and stuff will take over, even though you didn't do the story on this character. So sometimes it's worth it to redo the story, but typically I wouldn't do that. I would just play a character and do one time the story, and that's it. And after that you can do map exploration or just go for fractals, dungeons and that kind of stuff, and raids whenever you feel the need for it. You don't need to go for redoing everything that you did on your first character. Quick question, you have some site or thing? No, I don't, but I maybe want to do some kind of spreadsheet from all my builds where you can always see which kind of video is related to which kind of build. Maybe that's something that I want to go for in the future and share that with you. That would be nice. But it takes a while to put that out, so I will see if I can make that work in the next few weeks, I guess. Yeah. I feel like the quickness uptime is quite bad, actually. Maybe it's just me. I have 15% quickness uptime. What? And the others have 100. That's. I feel like I'm getting punished here. Nah, I was probably just standing too far away. It was probably my fault. But it's fine. We did it anyway. I'm after all not DPS. I'm only elect DPS, so I should not complain if my DPS is not the highest. Forging Steel is a strike mission, that's correct. It's a very decently long strike mission. It's also not, I wouldn't say, the most worthwhile for the amount of gold that you get, but it's definitely not bad. You can get quite a decent amount of gold if you do it once per week. That is if you open the chest. If you don't open the chest, then it's not worth it. Yeah, if you don't go for raids, then Rival Deadeye might not be the best option. Yeah, boons in general, not only in Fractals, I would say. All the boon supporters are carrying hard. It's insane. In Fractals specifically, but in all content. They are so broken how much just percentage of the DPS they actually provide by calculating in their boosts. So their boons that they give, and also might and all the stuff. DPS is just, everyone can play DPS. It's not really mattering. If you are crazy good support, you carry your group way harder than if you play decent DPS. Yeah, especially, yeah, like you say, with CC as well, and of course the boon uptime, it's crazy, yeah. I think also super speed is really underrated. There are so many times where super speed is amazing as well. So I think that's also very good. if people know more about when to use super speed and which characters actually can do that very easily. Yeah. I feel like you always want the better players in the group on the boons. I guess that's probably where I want it to be, especially in raids, because they typically also do the mechanics. Yes, I would probably rather have someone that is actually really good on a healer than having someone on a DPS, because typically DPS are not really able to carry that hard, especially when someone goes downstat, when something goes chaotic, because that's always supposed to happen in worse groups, in inexperienced groups. So I think a healer is more, so to say, reaction based, and a DPS is like, if you can deny happening bad stuff to yourself for the most part, but if you're a healer, you can help other people to not happen bad stuff to them, if that makes sense. But of course, if someone fucks up a mechanic, sometimes you can't carry them. That's just how it goes. But the healers and supports in general have probably a better time of helping someone do the mechanic or surviving a mechanic. Yeah, for sure. If I would lose my account and I would rebuild it from scratch, with which character and class would I start? I mean, typically you would start with PvE, because you typically don't play PvP and World versus World when you start your character, when your journey. I would maybe do it a little bit differently, because I know about the game. I would maybe go for PvP first and play a lot of PvP, because it gives me decent amount of gold instantly, and I then can use, for example, some kind of tomes to level my character. But if I would start with PvE, I would definitely go for Mesmer. I think Mesmer is by far the best option, just because it gives the most amount of utility, and you can swap to anything: DPS, Condi DPS, Boon DPS, and Boon support. So in general, that's what I would go for. But that's also, of course, I'm biased because I really enjoy Mesmer. Yeah, so that's my take. And then after that, I would just complete a lot of the map completion and go for my first legendary that I really want to get, because legendary is for me the biggest convenience, and that's probably what I would do first. Okay, I guess those guys are faster. But it's really hard, you know. I think the biggest thing that I would say, if a new player starts with Guild Wars 2, I would always say go for the class that you enjoy the fantasy the most. So if you're a Necromancer enjoyer, play Necromancer. You will not have any problems playing a specific class in PvE. I think the only problem that you will encounter if you play only PvP or only World vs. World, because there are some kind of metas where you don't want to play Engineer in PvP right now, or where you don't want to play Thief in Zerg play or something like that. But for the most part, in PvE, you can play any class. So don't worry about it too much, I would say. And I think Snowdrop is correct. If you are a solo player and don't want to go engage with instant content, create a Ranger, unlock Untamed, and solo everything. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah. Oh, the chill. Let me catch up on chat after this boss, I guess. I think, have you done a Power Scourge build for Zerg World vs. World? I haven't already, but I might do in the future. The problem is I don't play a lot of organized Zerg content, so I can't test that easily, you know? I'm just a casual World vs. World player in that regard. I'm just playing World vs. World, playing a meta build in that sense, and I can't really provide you with footage with a guild or something, because I'm not in a World vs. World guild. And that's, in my opinion, required to actually make a very good statement about the current meta. Because if you just play in random Zergs, that doesn't really deliver the whole picture, in my opinion. So I try to make a really good, concise build guide. And I feel like for Zergs, I just can't provide that for the most part. Yeah, so that's why I don't do it. But yeah, there we go. Did it. Let me catch up on chat first. So what's the most rewarding map for fishing, it's either Domain of Corner or Straits of Devastation. Those two, depending on night and day. But I have a guide about how to make gold with fishing. Just check it out on my YouTube channel. Just type fishing and you will find it. It's really lucrative if you enjoy just making passive gold. It's really, really good. Fish, exactly. It's crazy. If you like fishing, that's what you should do. Yes, Scourge is really cool. I really enjoy Scourge as well. So let's clean up the inventory. And let's see what else we can do. Ooh, Cold War. This daily. Let's do that. Thanks for the follow, Pantomime. Really appreciate it. Weekly strike clears? I mean, I guess we can do it. Yeah. Let's go for it. I will set up a squad. I will invite you. Let's go for it. I will play healer. Just to make sure that we actually... Yeah, there was a time where everyone was, or every bot was in Lake Doric to actually farm ladder, which was obviously insane. But... so let's see. So what are you gonna play, Echo Fox? Are you playing your Scrapper, or what do you want to play? If you haven't completed the story yet, you probably don't have a lot of things to prepare for, to spare for else. Yeah, I would say you would probably start with completing the story on your first character, and when you did that, then you can create more alt characters and go for Ascended Gear and stuff. That's my end masteries. This is probably the thing that I would go for. Yeah. Is it worth investing in Magic Find? It depends what you say is. Over 10 years, yes. If you want to get rewards right now and say you want to get more rewards today, then I would say no, it's not rewarding. Because getting to 300 Magic Find costs a lot of luck that you get most likely with just salvaging Ectos, which gives you a lot of luck back, but it requires a lot of investment. So I would say in the long run, it's worth it. In the short term, it's not. So keep that in mind. Yeah. Okay, quick DPS we have then, and I will play a leg heal. If someone from chat wants to join, by the way, just say so. We have spots if you at least know what you're doing to some extent and know the strike missions, we will be fine. Yeah, I mean, Scrapper, Harbinger, Renegade, Spectre, they are all really cool. I really like them. Magic Find, definitely, but I think like letting it build passively over time is better than trying to hard max it. But just using regular Magic Find boosts while you do content is fine. Yeah, probably. I think passively getting it is also a little bit more rewarding. It feels like you don't rush it too much. Yeah. So let's update the description. We only need a quick heal now. Let's ask this guy if he knows what he's doing. No, I'm doing the EOD strike missions full clear. So that would be Aetherblade Hideout, Anka, KO, Cunning Overlook is that, and Harvest Temple. So those I will do. And later I will do Ice Blood Saga. So you can do the strike missions more than once a day, but you will only get the chest reward once. So keep that in mind. Yeah, why would you need an Alacrity DPS? Good question, good question. I think it's helping you in the long run, for the most part. A chat group. Yeah, that sounds dangerous. I agree. But what can you do? What can you do? I hope we find someone that actually knows what they are doing. I think if we fill the healing and DPS, quick DPS roles quite with good people, the DPS people are not that important. But it looks like we struggle a bit to find another healer. That's what we're currently looking for. As always, if you have any questions, any comments, please let me know. I'm always happy to answer them. Okay, let's see if that's good. We have a healer, so we can now go for DPS. Oh, we have Snowdrop instantly joining as soon as I said DPS. Very good. Snowdrop is gaming. Very good, very good. That's what we need. I guess we will do... We start with the regular order, chronological order, I guess. Pistol that, I mean, whatever you like. Whatever you like. We will see how much DPS you will actually get. He's famous for quick heal. I mean, I think he's famous for waiting for only DPS to join. I think that's gonna happen. Yes, it's quick heal. So the idea is if you play a quickness heal firebrand, you provide quickness and healing. That's what you typically do, and that's what my build video was about a while ago about the heal firebrand build guide. Yeah, all join, come in. That's how you would play it. Rival mech is also very good. I would say rival mech is better for people that know what they're doing because you have higher DPS, but it's a little bit harder to play than the unload Deadeye. So if you really want to have only a single button that you press, unload Deadeye is better. Yeah. I think Aurora and Vision depends a bit on what kind of player you are. I think there is not one that is easier. I think it depends. If you like to go for achievements, one of them is easier. If you like to have just a easy way with a time gate and stuff without any big achievements that you have to do, the other one might be easier. It depends a bit. I'm not a big fan of time gates, so I don't like that one, but still, yeah, it's my opinion. Do you have also another stream besides YouTube? I mean, yes, it's currently on Twitch. I have a stream on my Twitch. It's in the description of my YouTube channel. You can just check it out under every video. So just click the link. Yeah, the 16-day time gate is horrible. I don't like that. You can grind a lot for Vision, so that's really good. That's why I like it. But if you don't have the time to grind that much, I think Aurora might be better because the time gate is actually not that problematic for you then. No problem, Slick, no problem. It's actually feeling quite slow. Thanks for the follow, Wallgrowth. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Let me hydrate for a second. Yeah, embrace the filth, embrace the filth. Yeah, that's how it is. 3k of the Kralkatite ore. Yeah, I think the cool part about the Kralkatite ore is, can I open the map? No, I can't. If you go for the Domain of Istan map, there is this quest in the upper left corner. So with this Astro Lab thingy there, where you have to do the books, where you have to adjust some telescopes and that kind of stuff. And this one is not account bound, so you can repeat it on as many characters as you want to. And each time you get, I'm not sure, 25 or something like that. So if you complete that, you can complete that in a few minutes. Let's say 3 if you are fast. Then you can farm that quite fast without a time gate. But it's a little bit annoying. Of course, you need a lot of characters to do that, but if you have 5 characters, you can speed up the process by quite a bit. Yeah. Yeah. Ah, we have built it. Very good. Let's see if our group is good enough. It seems like we have some new players here. Let's hope it I'm a little bit scared of Harvest Temple, but let's see. Let's see. We need some big CC here. I just made my first piece of Obsidian Legendary Armor. I mean, how long do you think it will take me to complete the set if I work, let's say, almost 12 hours a day? Over 12 hours, it's actually crazy. It takes a while. It's a lot of grind. It's actually, just from the meta events to get the Obsidian Legendary Armor, I would say you need 3 months for all pieces. 1 second. Because this player apparently doesn't know how to go to End of Dragons, Arborstone. 1 second. Okay, I guess I will, you can teleport to me, I guess then. Very good. And strikes are like a 1 encounter fight. Yeah, so it's like a raid without having 3 encounters in 1 ring, but it's just one single boss for 10 people. Yeah, it's, I would say it's a little bit different to raids also because you don't have any trash events between, and therefore it might be a little bit more suited for players that enjoy having content that is, you go in, you kill the boss and you go out. But I feel like a lot of people that enjoy raids are not extremely happy with how strikes play out. So yeah, I feel like it's more of a personal preference. Yeah. So let's get this boss finally, get the kills here. I would say the legendary weapon armors are easier to get, but they take more time to get. Yeah, so if that's what you mean. So you can farm the Obsidian Legendary Armor, create quite brain AFK, just do some meta events and farm rifts for years, for a year, and it will take quite a long while, especially if you only play a few hours a week. It will take a while, but it is, I don't know, it feels like it's easier than Aurora and Vision, because you have, for those, you have to do achievements and very specific stuff, and it might be harder for you to actually do. That's my take. Yeah. Yeah, of course, if you're self-employed, you know what you're doing and how much time you put in, but that's just give my take. I would be, if you don't have, let's say, you should probably, the best part about getting legendary Obsidian Armor would be that you should go for play at least 1 hour per day. Because if you play for 10 hours on one day, you can't get more of the meta events than you would go for if you do it once a day. Yeah. So at least try to go for the meta events of Soto once per day. That will take at least 1 hour, around 1 hour. And everything else you can do whenever you have the time. So miss the Rift events, the conversions and that kind of stuff, you can do that on a somewhat infrequent schedule. But the meta events are really annoying if you don't do them every day, because you just can't speed it up any other way. Yeah. No, you're not late for the giveaway, Luis. No problem. You just have to watch the video that I released today about how to enter the giveaway on my YouTube channel. And you have 7 days to actually participate in that, so don't worry. Yeah, I would say strike missions are very fun for people that just want to get into the action. And they are also very nice from the difficulty level, especially the normal modes. I think for new players, they are quite... they are not that punishing for the most part, and you just can watch someone like me play it, and you will understand slowly how the mechanics work, and you just join a group, and that will be fine. There are harder ones, there are easy ones, but still, you will be good for the most part. Yeah. Yeah, if you manage to catch at least 2 metas a day, then you need, like I said, for one armor set, you need around 20 to 30, depending if you want to get the full skin or just the legendary armor thingy. So the obsidian legendary armor has some kind of, the legendary armor itself costs only a fraction, or not a fraction, but costs like 65% or something. And if you want to go for the absolutely crazy looking skin as well, then you need a little bit more. But if you want to just go for the legendary itself, then you need, I would say 20 to, yeah, let's say, I think you need 18. Yeah, I think it's 18 meta events per armor set. So that needs to do a few meta events to get that. But you also need a lot of the map currency, which can also be quite annoying. But overall, I would say it's not a big problem. For the most part, if you do 2 a day, you will probably take a month to get all of those. And then just farm a lot of rifts and convergences. As many conversions as you can get per week, because every single day you get a bonus chest for the convergences, and those give you decent amount of materials of the rift essences. So that's the biggest thing, the biggest cap there. Everything else is just gold. Yeah. So I would say if you consistently farm it, it will probably take around 1 to 2 months, depending on how much time you put into the rift essences. Please move out with the blue. Please, 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 please. I guess we have a little bit of a heal check here. I guess that's fine. I guess I'm solo CCing this guy. It feels horrible. Yeah, so convergences really helped me get my legendary armor fast. Yeah, I think convergences are the biggest time speed up if you can do them consistently, because they actually give you so many not ascended, but so many, what's it called? Essences, rift essences, yeah. Please move out with the blue. No, guys, please. Okay, that was a last minute CC. Good job. Okay, move with me, please. Good job. So far, so good. But this is also one of the easier ones. Yeah, of course, if you do all the challenge modes, you get them really fast. So you can do all the 5 challenge modes of the Soto one, and you can also do the Greer one and the Decima one, and you will be very, very happy about it. It's actually quite crazy how much you actually get from them. Yeah. If you open the big arcane chests every day, it's also possible. Yeah, that's true. You actually get quite a lot from those. You also need those for the those weird coins that you need. So you have to do some kind of map completions and those chests that you need to open. So there are a lot of things involved into getting this, but it's not too bad. It's just time effort. So I would say if you invest time, 1 to 2 weeks, 1 to 2 months, it's doable for one set. I'm talking about one set. I was grinding all of the sets with the skin, and it took me half a year, even if I played it every single day. Welcome, Oak. Welcome. Thanks for the follow, Just Say. Really appreciate it. Okay, what are we going to do to the next? I think we do Anka. There we go. The giveaway is currently, just type !giveaway in the chat, and you will get a link to the YouTube video where I will actually explain how to join the giveaway, because it's a YouTube giveaway, because I reached 5k subs on my YouTube channel, And to celebrate that, I'm giving away over 2k gold on my YouTube channel. So if you want to participate, just watch the video. Again, we need a lot of CC for this fight, so I'm taking a lot of CC. See if everyone is ready. I burned out on my set. Yeah, I would say that's the big problem with the Soto legendary armor. It takes so long that if you really want to go for all the skins and stuff, it feels like it's you're supposed to burn out at some point. It's actually crazy. So yeah, that's just, you have to accept it. Go slow or probably don't finish it. If you want to get it really fast, it's just too much of a grind going for all sets. I was just saying, okay, do it slowly and you will get it. And I did get it after 6 months of something. And I was happy about that. Even though I already had the raid legendary armor, I just wanted to get the skins. But oh, there we go. Nice. Quickness uptime is a little bit scuffed, but it's fine. It's fine. We will get it again. Don't worry. Just the start is a little bit slow with the quickness. But next time I can also run a Signet of Illusions to cover your quickness, okay? No problem. I will get you. I will help you. So who is actually targeted by this one? Looks like someone in the middle of the squad. No, it's fine. Very good. I mean, it's not, I think you're not, if we, so I have some special thing and I added more than 2k gold on top. And I think you're talking about actually over 200 gold on top right now, not silver. Silver would be not that much. But if it's gold, that's quite a lot. I think the 2 sets for the achievements are just too expensive. I think it's okay because it's only providing you a skin. You know, it's not like you have to get those to actually get the value. I think you can quit, so to say, early because you will get the really nice quality of life early. So I think it's in my opinion, that's a good thing. I think the grind is insane. Yes, I agree. It's crazy how much you have to grind to get the full set. But for the most part, I would say it's not a big problem because you get the, so to say, the really big quality of life you get just very early in the journey, or not early, but let's say halfway through you already get the legendary. So I think it's okay, but I get if you're going for the skin, it's a little bit annoying, especially if you go for all the 3 armor sets, then you have really a long grind in front of you. Yeah, ahead of you. Yeah, that's just true. So for the giveaway, you can just scroll up. I think someone posted a message just a few seconds ago. You just have to check out my YouTube channel. And on my YouTube channel, I have a video just posted today about how to enter the giveaway. It's very easy. And we have 2k gold. Apparently over 2k gold at this moment. So almost 2.5k going up. My money is slowly going away. But that will be happening the next 7 days. So just check the video out and it will be easily entered. Yeah. You only have to get the 2 sets once though. That's true. But I was also talking about the skin for the... Am I targeted? No. Yeah, I think the set, getting the set is actually... Who is targeted? Someone that kills all the people. Oh no. It's fine. No one died completely, but it's actually quite fun. You managed to kill 6 people with that. You are really mean to your group, apparently. You don't like them. Yeah, if you see tethering, you typically should move out. That's just the typical raid mechanic. Move out if you get tethered. Yeah, exactly. Then I was misunderstanding. Yes, you only have to get them once. It's a one-time thing, and then you will be good. It's a little bit annoying, I know, but at some point you will get the skins anyway if you like to go for skins. And I think it's okay. I think they just want to get more out of their maps so that you have to complete them and get more currency for them. I think that's okay. It's after all a legendary that you go for. It's not like a random skin. It's a really nice legendary. Yeah. Yeah, I think especially one of the armor sets is actually looking quite decent. I would agree with you, Malison. Welcome, Skywolf. Welcome, welcome. Yes, exactly. It's 0.5 gold per like. So half the amount of likes and you will get the amount of gold that I will add on top. It's fine, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I will calculate it when I release the, so to say, the drawing video. But it will be quite a lot. It will be quite a lot. Maybe we reach even 3k as a gold giveaway. Let's see. Let's see how much it actually... So what can we take? Do we need CC for this fight? Not really. I guess what can I take? What's the most healing skill? Doesn't really matter actually for this fight. It's actually insane. Nothing happens on this fight. Maybe I guess a block. It's fine. It's not drop. It's fine. You did get out DPS by only a single player. That's okay. CM or bust? Nah, not with this group. We have people that playing their class the first time on this fight, so I don't want to actually throw it. Yeah. Yeah, it's a time sink. I think that's the problem for a lot of things. That the legendaries themselves are really nice, but they are grindy because there's just a time sink involved. It's hard to make content that has longevity without increasing the amount of grind that you do, especially with time gates and stuff. I feel like that's a big problem they already have in the past, and it's not really that much better in the newer expansions especially. But I mean, I would rather have a legendary that has a time gate than no legendary at all. So that's just my take as a veteran, but I personally think that's definitely something that I would say for sure. Yeah. I mean, the strike mission is, I think it's just a little bit long, especially if you do it with some kind of turtle unlock group, but with this group it should be decent. But please move out. I feel like we get killed here with the DPS creeps here. No. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Please, if you see the orange border around your screen, move out of the group and don't stack with us. Yeah, that's really important. Yeah. I hope that we get Harvest Temple done. It looks like a typical EU Harvest Temple group where no one actually knows how to deal with Harvest Temple boss. Let's see. How will you do it? Still only 5 people or every 200 gold another person? Yeah, something like that. I think I will add just more. The first 4 people get 500 gold, and after that, I don't know, maybe every 200 gold or something, I will add another person in the drawing so that we can spread the winners a bit more. Let's see what actually, how much money will we get out of that. No. I mean, if you buy 10k likes, then I'm poor and I can't give you all the gold. I don't have that much gold. I have, I don't know, 8k currently lying around that I can spend. But I mean, if you want to invest that money, I guess you can do that. But I would probably be more happy if you just give me the money and I will do the giveaway anyway. And you would not just invest it in likes that are not really that worth it. But I guess just saying here, buying likes on YouTube, I wouldn't recommend that. That sounds like a really bad business idea. Yeah, turtle unlock group. That's. I don't want to be toxic or anything, but this is the type of group that is typically taking quite a while to actually complete this. Yeah, it might be doable, but this seems like a horrible scenario for me. I would rather have some kind of group that is more experienced, because nowadays you can actually unlock the turtle without playing the strike mission. You can also just purchase the egg or something that you need for the turtle. Yeah, I mean, I'm just playing the game. I played the game a lot and now I get just gold and I don't know really where to spend it because I have full legendary already and that kind of stuff. So that's why I just think it's a nice thing to just give some encouragement back to all the people, some kind of nice gifts back to you for just supporting me on my channel. So that's the idea here. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fair, you know, keeping you engaged with long-term content that is just grindy in the time gate. I think that's fair. Oh, I'm targeted. Not for a long time. There we go. Yeah, I think the problem is with how people typically do it. And if they do a lot of giveaways, they just really want to push, so to say, people to spend money on them. And I think that's not a nice thing. I think people should get the chance of winning if they watch my videos consistently, if they watch my streams, even without spending money. You know, I think they deserve, if you consistently watch my stuff, you don't really need to pay me anything. You know, you're just there, you support my stuff, that's good enough. You know, you should be rewarded for that. I don't want to make it some kind of pay to win to get legendaries. I think that's you can, if another content creator does that, fine, but I want to just have a really honest, really fair way to actually get people engaged in my content and just be a very, just how to say, I like it when people just have fun with watching me and maybe get something out of it as well. I don't want to force anyone to spend money that they maybe have hard worked for and don't want to, or can't really spend on games and stuff like that. I think that's my take on that. Yeah, I was actually doing Skywolf, I was actually doing a poll on my YouTube channel if I would do some kind of legendary giveaway or some kind of gold giveaway. And what? How did I die here? What? And people voted for the gold giveaway, so that's what we're gonna do. Honestly, that is how legendaries should be. Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I think legendaries is a long-term project and you should not be able to achieve it in one day. That's my take, but that's not everyone would agree with that, of course. Yeah, no problem, Chris. I'm happy when you enjoy my content and you watch it, and then I like to give you something back for that. So don't worry about it. Do you think the Chaos Spear or the Tormented Spear? Oh, I'm targeted. That's the first time in my life that I'm targeted by that. Very nice. Nice. What? And I'm targeted by this attack as well. Fair. I think I have to port here. Mesmer downstate is OP. No, Snowdrop. No. No. We lost our player. I'm so sad. Sorry. You wanted to resurrect me. I saw it. That's what you get for that. Please be careful with that one. I think this guy's probably dead. Don't stand. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Don't throw now. Don't throw now. That would be horrible. I don't want to redo the whole fight. Do you think the Chaos Spear and the Tormented Spear is overhyped? Should I buy the new Legendary Spear? Yeah, I mean, it depends. I think it's obviously a personal taste thing, but I personally think the Chaos Spear is actually looking decent, but it's also quite expensive. And I feel like if you want to have a nice skin and you have the money, I think the convenience of the Legendary is probably very worthwhile to go for. But if you just want a nice skin, I think the Tormented Spear and the Chaos Spear are definitely better than going for the full Legendary, because they are definitely less pricey. Yeah, that much is for sure. But I think it's a personal taste. I can't tell you which kind of skin you like more. I personally like to have the convenience of a Legendary, so that's what I would go for. But I mean, that's my take. Yeah. Yeah, the hitbox is completely crazy. It looks smaller than it actually is. That's why I was so happy that I could teleport out of it, because I'm a Mesmer. but wait, we get the thing here. Very good, very good. Get the spread mechanic now. I didn't get it, so hopefully no one dies. That was a lot of damage. They almost died to their own damage. Very good. Yeah, I think Guild Wars 2 is actually not that hard. I think you have to go behind the boss, everyone. Otherwise you will die to their attack. I can't really position here without... Okay. It's fine, we did it. But if you see that people have to stand like that, move behind the boss. Yeah. As a ref, I feel so sad looking at every other class downstat skills. Yeah, I think the downstat skills are a little bit unevenly balanced, but I think it's also okay because I feel like the downstat skills of the heavy armor classes are worse than the ones of the light armor classes. I think that's a little bit of a balanced decision they made back in the old days when they released it. Yeah, I mean, when you already have a legendary spear, I would probably just go for a skin that you like and don't go for the legendary if you don't want to get the legendary skin, of course. I personally think that's the smarter decision. I personally have 3 spears for whatever reason, so that I can equip spear on land and underwater 1 spear as well, but it's completely overkill, so don't worry too much about it. I guess I will take some CC. Should I take some reflect here? I guess. Yeah, it's a lot of gold, that much is for sure. I want a new legendary spear too, but I have generation 1, so I'm gonna finish the last legendary sigil. Yeah, I think that's a smart choice, definitely. I would not go for something that you already have, because that is only worth it if you don't have anything else to do. I have a PvP question. Is mech completely not viable at high level PvP? Sadly, yes. The answer is yes. Mechanistus is not very good. As soon as you reach higher gold or platinum, it's completely... You will get farmed. It's really bad. It's designed on purpose like that Mechanist is bad. So just don't do it. Yeah. You can get to a high rank if you know what you're doing, but that's the big problem here. Really, let me finish this, because I feel like, yes, you can reach 144 on NA. Doesn't mean that much, to be honest, because you can play any build if you are decently well at the game and get to rank 144. It's not a bad rank, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying you can play any build and you will reach that rank, because it's just currently not that competitive. So if you would play a meta build, you would probably be rank 50. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So the build is pushing you down. And that's something that you don't really want to have in a competitive game mode. You want to play a build that is actually helping you push harder and not less. So that's why I really want to emphasize that and can't stress that enough, that Mechanist is just not a PvP spec. Yeah. Yeah, true. I think Revenant is a little bit worse, but don't forget, Revenant has some weird bugs with stucking people in the wall, so you can knock them back and they can't move out of the wall. That can be really abused in PvP to some extent. But of course, that's typically not really what you want to do, or what is very likely to happen. But if it happens, it's really fun. It can carry your match in a really, really annoying way for the people that actually get stuck in the wall. But okay, so we have to move out now. This guy is dead. I'm not sure if I can resurrect you. Maybe. Nice. Function gyro res and into rally. Very good, very good. So what I was saying is, if you are a decent player at the game and you like to play PvP, you can play any build to get to a high rank. I'm not saying that Mechanist is horrible. You can reach a decent level with it, but if you play a decent build, you will be way better off than if you played anything else. Meta builds are always king in PvP. It's like no one on the leaderboard that is in the top 10 plays some kind of crazy build. It's just meta builds carry harder or allow you to carry harder. That's the better formulation, better phrasing rather. Yeah. So far so good. We only lost one player. Classical experience in Harvest Temple, but I think the biggest one will happen when the Motorov attack head slams into the ground. That's the knockback for some reason gets people, and then we will get the reflect thing. I think that will always kill at least one person. It's I don't know. It's just killing people. The jump part is definitely scary, but I feel like the reflect is even scarier. I personally think the reflect part is for a lot of people. They just don't see the orbs or just ignore them, and then they just die. Cutter hammer or cutter dagger in PvP? I think it depends what you want to do. If you want to hold outnumbered situation and you want just to carry your match by surviving, go for dagger. If you want to carry because you kill enemies in a 1-on-1, go for hammer. I think both of them are totally viable. It's just more of a personal taste thing. Dagger is, I would say, overall a little bit better if you don't have any preference, because you can just have more mobility in total. And that helps a little bit more in a lot of situations. Ooh, not good, we did it. But they are really close. Cutter is just broken right now on the side note. Herald is on top of PvP meta, that much is for sure. You can play Power or Condi, both of them are really good. Power is a little bit better right now, but still, it's crazy. So let's see how many people die to the jump, to the shockwave. I could have tried to catch those, sorry. It's fine. I think we will be happy here. I can give some stability so people will not even get knocked back. I will move out of here. Okay, only single person. No, only one. Okay. I guess that's good enough, I guess. There we go. Kill. Next go. Herald is crazy. Herald right now is absolutely insane. I think the problem is not really Herald, it's just Retribution. Retribution trade line is absolutely broken in my opinion. I think they should nerf Retribution because that would actually make Renegade as well not that obnoxious and just make it a less tanky and a little bit more. They should not completely destroy it, just make it a little bit less absolutely insane. Okay, there we go, last dragon. Let's see if we can actually get it without any down stats. I'm not sure. Let's see. And then we go to So1. I think So1 is the hardest one for a lot of people. After the jump, maybe. Let's see. I think I actually like So1 because it has the water attack, and this is really reminding me of the End of Dragons meta event, which is obviously really nice. I liked that a lot when it came out. It was such a big thing back then, but okay. There we go. Get the kill. I guess we spread one more time. Go to the dragon. Let me kill this boss and then I will answer the question in the chat, okay? So I guess, where is everyone actually? Why are people standing so far away from me? Very good. You should come to me. Even if you're ranged, just stack on me so that you get all the boons. So this is pushed a bit away. It's not good. I will try to move it here. Okay. Chris, I will answer your question after this boss, okay? Just want to concentrate because this is one of the hardest phases actually in the fight and I don't want to mess it up. Kill this guy, please. Very good. Now VCC. And last real dragon, so to say. Thanks for the follow, Zevdik and Balok. Biolik. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the stream. So giving some stability here so that you don't have to dodge. Or jump. I mean, I guess if you see it coming, you can also jump. And we will get another spread. I will give some more stability. And dodge the orbs. Ooh, 3 people here. Not that nice. We'll get some res here. Nice, we got the rally. Just a few more % to get to the orb phase. I really am excited to see how many people will die in the orb phase here. Okay, orb phase, let's go. So I will try to put feedback on top of it as fast as possible, as frequent as possible as well. But I feel like I really have to take more care about positioning correctly here and healing you guys. But it looks actually quite clean. I have to be honest, for somewhat of a puck here, it's actually decently clean. Oh, never mind. Maybe I'm a little bit spoke too early. Yeah, you greeted a bit. It's okay. Just focus on this guy and we will rally. That's one of the big advantages, if you know that. Just rally from the mobs here. It's actually not that hard. Just don't fail a second time. The second time is the punishing one. The second time will kill you. But I feel we have no problem here. Very good. And there we go. Last 33% on the boss. Good job. You only lost 2 people. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. Ooh. Good job. I'm not a villain. I'm just, you know, for me, it's always like I am playing the game for such a long time. It's always a little bit more exciting to see new players play the game than just if I had 9 people that already know everything about a boss. It's not exciting. It's not chaotic at all. There's no thinking involved anymore. You do it just passively. If everyone GTs here, we actually get more shots. It's fine. Good job, everyone. We did it. No, I don't. I like to keep people alive. You know, I just try to do my support role. That's the most important thing for me. Yes. So let's catch up on chat. So the matchmaker should, in PvP, the matchmaker should try to fill groups or the match itself with people that are on a different class. So you don't want to have a matchup where you have 5 Revenants in one team and on the other team you don't have any Revenant. So if you know that currently, for example, a really good player is queuing on a Revenant and you don't want to fight against them, then you should play, for example, on a different class. It's not failsafe. It will still put you sometimes with 2 thieves if you already have thief, but it's supposed to work like that. And the same is true with the win rate. There are a lot of things that are taken into account when it comes to matchmaking. So the win rate is taken into account, also what class you are playing and that kind of stuff. But if currently the Guild Wars 2 population in PvP is so low that oftentimes you have a match that happens after 5 minutes, the queue starts popping and you just have currently 10 players playing. So how can a matchmaker make a fair match? And regarding how many heralds are currently queuing, if there are currently only 10 people queuing in total. So it's the matchmaker tries its best, but the population is just too low to actually make it work. So keep that in mind. Yeah. It's fine, Echo Fox, you will learn. We did a good job anyway, so don't worry too much. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Snowdrop. That felt really bad of me. Was not my intention. I can promise you that. Yeah. No problem. It's not a big problem. I like to play with people that are new to the game and want to improve. So it's not a big deal if you die, if you just learn. It's not a problem. Just tell me and we will get you through it. Not a big deal. Let's maybe get us some Cold War going if we have some. And let's answer the question 1 second that Chris had. So if you are a PvP player and want to get into PvE and get legendaries and stuff, I would say the story is not really important. You can skip the story and do legendaries and get stuff there quite easily. You don't really need to go for legendaries. Even you don't even have to go for the story if you want to get legendaries. The only thing why you would want to get the story is to get access to new maps that you might want to get for legendaries. So sometimes to get to the Wizard's Tower the first time, you have to do the Wizard's Tower storyline. That is okay. You can also teleport there with a teleport to friend and stuff, so you can actually completely skip the story if you really wanted to. But for some achievements, you have to do them anyway. So I would say it depends what kind of legendaries you're going for, but if you're going for legendary weapons, for example, you don't need any story. So it's actually, I would recommend you to play the part of PvE that you actually enjoy. So if you like fractals, if you like raids, do them. You don't need to actually play story to do anything in PvE if you don't like the story. Not completely true, of course, some things are locked behind the story, but that's not why I would recommend you to do the story just to get one tiny fraction of the game unlocked. I would rather play stuff that you like, and if you encounter for whatever reason a thing that is actually locked behind the story, then you can still do it. Because I feel like the story is a big time sink and it's not completely bad, but it's obviously not always especially for a PvP player, it might be a little bit boring. Yeah, that's my answer. My mouse setting is a Blishhut add-on with the mouse cursor. This is the module. I have a short guide on my YouTube channel about that as well. It's just a legal third-party add-on that you can use to make your mouse a little bit more visible. And of course, if you like meta events, then you can do a lot of stuff just by completing open world and have fun there, and you get a lot of gold that way as well. So it's actually decent in terms of what you can do as a PvP player. Yeah, I think I think the look is okay. I'm just having it for that I see where my mouse is all the time, because I feel like the Guild Wars 2 options of the mouse cursor either you don't see it, especially if you press both mouse buttons or one for the camera, you don't see where it is anymore. You only see the blue circle. If I release it, you see where the mouse actually is. And if you use the in-game settings to actually show your mouse cursor contrast, the low one doesn't help that much in my opinion. It's just a little bit white border around it. And if you go for the high one, it's actually a circle around the mouse cursor. But, and that's the annoying thing here, if I want to press the X here, with the left mouse button, the circle is actually not where I want to click. So it's not centered. So it's on top of the mouse tip is actually where I click, but the circle is centered around the middle. So the center of gravity, so to say, of the mouse cursor. So it's really annoying. So I really hate this setting. It's absolutely insane that you typically want to have the circle in the middle of where you click. So that's where you should click, but it's not the case. So that's why I really dislike this setting and want to use the Blishhut for that one. But that's just me. Maybe you don't mind that, and then you will be good. So let's clean up the inventory a bit, and then let's go for Cold War, I guess. Just because it's daily, and then you can see this is the chest that we were talking earlier about. So I opened it this week already. So you see there are those things lit. If you light all of them, you get more rewards, but you don't need to light all of them. You just need one crystal shard to actually open it. And if you have 3, you actually get more. You can actually also turn them in here. No, don't talk to me about that. No, stop talking. But it's fine. You can also turn 3 of the, or 20 of the smaller ones into one of the bigger ones, and you will get, so to say, can skip the dailies with that. But I would highly recommend to do the daily Ice Brute Saga strike missions because they are very rewarding. And just getting them done is very helpful. So you can see here, where is it? Yeah, you can turn in 20 of the small ones into one of the big ones, and you need 3 to open the chest, or you need 1, but you get more rewards if you use 3. So that's what I would recommend. Average story experience. Stop talking, please. Yeah, I guess that's summarizing it actually quite well. Yeah. Stop talking, yeah. I guess we have to do a Cold War. So, see how fast it fills. Because it's daily, maybe it fills faster. But it's a very annoying, very long strike mission. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Ah, we have Snowdrop again. I guess he is playing DPS then. No, I'm joking. No problem, Chris, no problem. If you have any questions, not only Chris, but all the others as well, let me know. I'm always happy to answer them. And don't forget, we have a giveaway going on my YouTube channel, so be sure to check that out. It's approaching 2.5k gold giveaway really fast, so you have 6 more days roughly to actually get it done, enter it, participate in it, and if it continues like that, it will mostly be around 3k, so quite a nice prize pool. Yeah, the giveaway is on my YouTube channel. If you just type !giveaway in the Twitch chat, you will actually get a link to the video where I explain how to enter. Oh, we have actually... Wait. Boon heal, very good. So I guess the Snowdrop can play DPS after all. Okay. Very good. And then we only need one quick heal, I guess. So let's set it up. 1 second. Just want to get some more people going here. We need a... we actually just need a Boon DPS. I can play anything. And then Snowdrop can play DPS. That's what he's known for after all. And I know he enjoys it the most. Some legendary mats you can exchange for karma. Good to save it. Yeah, I would say saving karma is always a good thing. I would also always, if you go for legendaries, I would save almost all my materials because you will probably need them at some point. But if you know that you need gold right now, sometimes it's also worth it to sell stuff if you don't want to get the legendary just at this moment. So let's see what we get here. ADPS, okay, very good. And there we go, we can go for DPS. And instantly it fills. Ah, the greedy DPS players, as always. As always. I got the God Greatsword skin in a non-tradable blackline chest. Which PvP build would you recommend with a Greatsword? The Greatsword is not in a really good spot right now. Power Virtuoso plays Greatsword, so I would recommend that. Other than that, it's actually not really played on any other Greatsword, I have to be honest. It's sadly not really a good weapon in PvP right now. It's actually crazy to me that a weapon that almost any class can use, it's actually not used on a lot of players. Yeah, no link. I mean, it's because someone actually just posted it. I can send it. Wait, I can force it. Give me a... There we go. Now you should actually be able to click it. I hope. Yeah. You need stability for this one. And that's about it, I guess. So we had elect DPS, so I go quick DPS. If everyone is ready, we can go. Yeah, as always, if you have any questions, comments, let me know. Otherwise, we will just debate some stuff that we were talking about earlier. But like we had that earlier with the agony resistance of fractals, and I feel like the last 2 years we don't really have. I need to walk my dog for the duration of the pre-event. Okay, that's how you actually get the leech going. Very good job. I mean, it's fine, I guess. I guess if you have some kind of AFK build, you know, like a rival turret mechanist or something, you actually could do that to some extent. No, I was just talking. I think the last 2 years we didn't get any crazy big feature updates like we get, let's say, where we had, for example, reworks to the trade system. We didn't get big reworks other than the Wizard's Vault, I would say. We're really changing crazy amounts of just general gameplay rotations and stuff. So I feel like I would really like if they would do some kind of feature patch where we just get a big feature update without any new content. Me, myself, as a player, would really enjoy that. I think getting some kind of nice rework of agony, of maybe even the templates, the build templates, maybe some kind of reworks of the infusion system in general. Maybe, I don't know, there are so many things that they could do as a rework that would be absolutely insane and would bring back into the game even without new content. I'm not sure if they will do that, to be honest, because I feel like that is a lot of effort and they currently don't have that much time, I guess, or in development time going for stuff that is actually happening in the game. I feel like they're currently clearly working on something else. But if they would do that, I think at least me, myself, would be more interested in that. And I would really enjoy stuff like that. I've been messing around with Reaper build in PvP. Took Spite over Carapace stacks for more damage. I mean, it's a really aggressive option. I think it can work, but I feel like in the current meta, the death magic is just too powerful to drop it, to be honest. I personally would not drop it for high-rated games. But if it works for you, then don't worry, go for it. Yeah. As a new guild was 2-player, I really love your guides on YouTube. That's very nice. Glad you like that. I tried my best. LFG rework, yes, very good point. I mentioned that as well in my features that I wanted to see. Very good point. I think the LFG is very overloaded, and I feel like for new player, very confusing. It's hard. I can't really say what kind of features in the LFG would actually improve this stuff. I think one of the best features would be some kind of inherent kill proof, so that you could say, oh, I killed this boss 70 times while I was doing Pylon, yeah, on Kadim 2 or something. And this would be in the game, and then it would be tracked. Will never happen in Guild Wars 2, I know, but this would be such an amazing feature just to find people that are actually knowledgeable if you really want to look for those. So that would be amazing, but sadly not happening. Yeah. Account bound agony would be big. I agree. I think that's one of the biggest things, especially for fractal players, but I think all people would enjoy having account bound infusions because that would just increase the amount of characters you can easily pick up and play. Yeah, for sure. Agony resistance should be account-wide. Yeah, I think it should be. I think the agony system that it's not account-wide is a really big problem that the base game has and should not be the case in my opinion. It should, when it came out, it should have been like account-wide already. How do we lose people here? But, I mean, they can still redo it. Like I said, I think the agony should be account-wide. I also think that the just general infusions should have no cosmetic aspect. I think if you want to go for stat infusions, you can do that, but you don't need them for agony. And I think the infusions, the skin, should be some kind of account wardrobe feature. So like 3 slots, maybe 6 slots on top of here, where you can just pick and match infusions that you bound to your account like a skin. That would be amazing. I'm pretty sure they will not do that in the future because it's a big rework and that would be a major rework for an expansion or something. They will never do that in just a small update or something. I'm not even sure if they would do it in expansion because maybe they don't have the technology to do so. I don't know how hard that is for them to actually decouple all of that stuff, but I would be really happy about that. Yeah. They also should probably, I don't know how to say, make the commander tech cheaper. I guess yes, they should, because a lot of people that want to do commander stuff in World vs. World in PvE and can't buy it are sad because we want to get more commanders going. I feel like that's a big problem that Guild Wars 2 has. Just getting more groups to fill up, even for the easy stuff, is better. You don't really need a commander tab in PvE. You can, but you don't need it. In World vs. World, it's highly required if you want to have some kind of squad action going. So there, I would highly agree that this is a big thing to actually do. In all other game modes, in PvE, it's not necessary, but of course it also helps. So, yeah. I see where you're going, yeah. Welcome, Cyclone, welcome. Legendary Underwater Aqua Breather, yeah, I think that's also nice. Just, it doesn't really matter for the most part, but just for completionist's sakes, I think that makes a lot of sense. That you just have the option to not always swap around. I think that's really annoying to get the Ascended one going for all the characters. I have 70 characters. I would need 70 characters, Ascended Aqua Breathers, to get those. It's horrible. So I really hope they will address that. I'm not sure if they ever will. I probably think so, but it's not. It needs an expansion for that, especially also with some kind of underwater content, I guess. Because otherwise it doesn't really make sense why you would have an Aqua Breather in the expansion without any new underwater content. Can't decide between Guardian or Revenant. Open World, Fractals, and Raids. I personally think Guardian is more flexible, whereas Revenant is really good in some scenarios, in PvE, in solo builds, for example. But in group scenarios, I would say Guardian is better right now. So I would personally think just Guardian is ArenaNet's favorite child anyway. They will always have some kind of broken build with it. I would probably go for Guardian. If you don't have any preference with the fantasy of the class, I would go for Guardian. Personal. Because Revenant is really fun. I personally like Revenant more of a class design, but I feel like the versatility, the flexibility you have with those builds are worse. Yeah. Oh, yeah, true. The Mistborn Baron infusion is actually not tradable. True. That's a good point. But I still think it should be some kind of account unlock. So I don't want to buy an infusion that costs thousands of gold and then I have it on one character. I want to use it on all my characters. Why is it not possible for me to do so? You know, that would be something that I really would like to have with the infusions. You know, then I would be interested to get multiple infusions that I would normally not want to use because they're so expensive. But having them on all characters possible, like a skin, would be amazing. Yeah. I did some time and at least some little skills to be able to manage working subgroups. Then you have the gold for the comtech, of course. Yeah, I would agree. I think the gold for the commander tech is not only a bad thing, because if you don't have the gold to actually get it, it's quite likely that you don't understand how to, or are not perfectly knowledgeable about how to do all of that account or managing of all the subgroups, knowing which class can provide alacrity, which class is actually decent at doing tanking and that kind of stuff. So I feel like that's inherently good that you have to farm a little bit of gold to actually get that gun going, yeah. But I can see why you would not enjoy it as a new player to have to go for so much gold before you can actually do it yourself. But I feel like it makes sense to some extent. Yeah. If it's now has to be 300 gold or it could reduce to less gold, I think that's fine. Subgroup 3 has no alacrity. I mean, that's sad. I mean, I'm not sure why. Should not be my reason here. Yeah, probably decreasing the amount that it needs is probably a good thing, but I think some gold to attach to getting it, I think that's fine in my opinion, because that leads to just 2 people died. Just leads to a little bit of a learning curve that you understand how it's actually working. I personally think that's okay. Yeah. What elite spec would I unlock first for Guardian then? If you have all expansions, I personally would say probably Willbender is a very good choice if you like a fast-paced playstyle. But if you're more of a support player, I would go for Firebrand for sure. Dragon Hunter is a DPS spec, so I would not go for that one first, because Willbender and Firebrand both have DPS specs as well, so you would probably start with something that is a little bit more flexible in what it can do. Firebrand is the most flexible. You can be a healer, you can be an offensive support, or you can be a DPS, so everything works there. It's a little bit harder to play than the other two, but it's still very worthwhile to get, especially as a new player, I would say. Yeah, that's my take. Legendary Infusion? Yeah, maybe. Maybe a Legendary Infusion would be the way to go as well. I don't know how it actually would look like, to be honest. What kind of features it would have, because it can't have more stats. So it would be like, can you unlock a skin for your infusion and then you can swap it around? That would be some kind of account bound feature then. I'm not sure if a legendary infusion is needed for that, if you just make it account bound anyway. I don't know. That would, it's really, I'm not completely sure. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the problem is if you tie the unlocking of the commander tech to achievement points, that would also force people to do achievements. Yeah, I know in the early game you get achievements really fast, really easily, even if you don't concentrate on it, but I personally don't really like to, you know, I have 43k account points, yeah, which is obviously quite a lot, but there are players that have over 50k. And does it mean a player over 50k is more skilled than me? No, not at all. It could be, but it doesn't mean like that. And I saw players with 3k achievement points that are way more skilled than people that have 15k account points. So it's, I think binding it to achievement points is not always the best thing. I think achievement points are not always really helping to see how much skill there is. I think the gold is also not really helpful, of course. But a person that knows how to gather 300 gold at one time is very likely to at least understand a little bit about how PvE is played. Doesn't mean it's a good commander, but I think it's really hard. It's probably not possible to actually make some kind of feature bound to the unlocking of the commander tech, because there's always someone that gets it that is not knowing anything about how to set up a squad. So it's you can't just say this will happen and this won't, because there's always someone that is actually not knowing what they are doing. I don't know. PvP Firebrand, I think it's way too hard to actually make it work. I think Chronomancer, even Spellbreaker and Tempest are way better than Firebrand. Firebrand is too squishy to actually make work. It's decent, but it's not good enough, sadly, to be a meta pick. Yeah, Legendary Aqua Breeder should be a priority for them. Yeah, I guess so. I think that's probably also what comes next. If I would do an educated guess. I don't have any more information than you have, but I think that's probably the next expansion, Legendary for sure. Legendary Infusion could work like runes. You account bind an infusion, a certain amount of that infusion, and you can use it on multiple slots freely. Yeah, but then at this point, it's exactly what I was mentioning with the, so to say, account bound stuff for infusions. You don't need a legendary one for that. I guess you can bind it to some kind of gold thing as well, and then you would have a legendary, yes. But I personally think, do you really need a legendary infusion for that? Or would you just make a feature that binds them just to your account anyway? Why would you have unlocking a thing to actually make it visible? I guess you can. I think it's the same for the relic, I guess, if I think about it. The relic doesn't really have some kind of thing that you really see physically. It's just the feature that you can easily swap them and you unlock them also as you go. I think that makes sense. I think you would probably do that. Have one slot like that you have to go for legendary, and then you can use the infusions on all account. That would be some kind of middle ground between going for completely removing infusions and making just some skins and wardrobe there. I guess, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, it's true. It's true. The Snowcrows guys are really going hard. Yeah, I agree. Like a system where a commander gets upvotes by people in the squad for each successful event he commands. the problem is the community. This would be that could be really abused and could be really toxic, this feature. Because the Guild Wars 2 community, 99% of the community doesn't really want to command. Yeah. So if I open a squad, I need to do the stuff to set everything up, make it work so that people have the right gear, the right boons and stuff going. And then I still have to do all the stuff to say, okay, let's engage now and stuff, go there, do split like this. And then people always would downvote me for whatever reason because they just don't like me. Then I would have a bad reputation and I wouldn't get more people joining. That's horrible. I think that's, yes, in an ideal world that would work. But I think in the Guild Wars 2 community where you have so many trolls or people that don't know how to really do it themselves or just don't want to be really led by people that are actually knowing more about the game, I feel like it could be really toxic. I don't know. I see your reason why it could work, but I feel like it's sadly not. It works in other MMOs, but in Guild Wars 2, I'm not sure if it works because there is no gear check, so it can be really abused. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. People call Commander toxic if you sort your subgroups or something and kick someone if they don't play Alacrity DPS when they are in the Alacrity group. Yeah, I don't know. Exactly. I think that's a big problem in general, just like Young mentions here. There is always 1%, there's always some kind of bad apple in the community that ruins the feature for all the other 99% of the community that would use the feature. That's the same with the gear check. I think a gear check would improve the quality of raids drastically because you could check if someone is running a decent build. But there is always one guy that would be toxic and always gear check and kick people and just be toxic and really writing mean stuff. And then it's not fun. That's why they don't implement it. It's just the sad part, the sad truth, yeah. I don't even know if streamers would have a higher impact in terms of downvotes and upvotes. I'm not sure. I think the Guild Wars 2 content creation scene is so... There are not that many people, actually. You know, the game has quite a decent amount of players every single day, but the content creation scene is so small. It's actually insane. So I'm not even sure if people would really engage with content creators, you know. I'm not really sure. I think a lot of the community is just playing the game and don't even look at social media at all when it comes to Guild Wars 2. Which is fine. I don't blame them. I'm just saying that's a fact. Because most of the people are just playing open world and have fun there. Which is totally fine. But that leads to people are not really interested in some kind of try-hard groups for the most part. I don't know. How would you push the community to be more commanders? Maybe some kind of incentives that you get some kind of... I think they already have some features like that where you get, for example, in World vs. World, you get more pips if you're a public commander. Where is it? If you're a public commander, you get 3 more pips if you have at least 10 people in your squad. Something like that in PvE could work too. That you, for example, if you kill a boss or something, while you are commanding, you get maybe 50 silver or something on top. Maybe something like that. Maybe it's too little, maybe it's too much, maybe people would abuse it. I think it's always a problem. Every system can be abused. So it's really hard to make it worthwhile to go for without being possible to abuse the system. I think it's really hard. I don't know. And no one enjoys watching inventory management lobby content. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. If you would have a streamer like me doing all the time, doing some kind of shifting, going for subgroup stuff and always looking for people, that would be horrible for content creation because I can't talk to you while I do that because I have to concentrate and getting quickness in every subgroup, for example. And if I fuck up, everyone in my sub would be sad. If I don't talk to you guys, you would say it's a boring stream. So I think there are many issues with how Guild Wars 2 is actually using the LFG. So for example, in other MMOs, you have raid finders, you have even duty finders that make matchmaking automatically. In Guild Wars 2, it's really hard. But if they would implement that, maybe in Guild Wars 3, when the game is a little bit differently balanced with boons and stuff, I think that's one of the biggest features. That you just press like PvP, you press like, okay, I want to play ranked now, press this button, and I get queued up as a healer. Yeah, that's really good. In Guild Wars 2, that's missing. Yeah, in Guild Wars 2, you miss that, and you have to always understand quite a lot to actually go into LFG. Say, okay, I will now go into raids, and then I will look for people that actually know alacrity, quickness, heal, hand kite, you know. You have to actually know all those abbreviations and understand how to set up your squad for this wing to make it work. that's just too much for us, for the average player. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think commanders are pressured a lot, and then they might be seen as toxic, and then you have way too little commanders actually in the community. That's a big problem. Yeah, exactly. Obviously in an open world you wouldn't do that. I just talk about instance content, so that you would have getting 50 silver more per boss in raids, for example, or strike missions, that you would have people really going for opening the squad. Because I feel like if you go to strike missions, yeah, and you look here, you have now, let's say, 5 squads that are actually looking for stuff. But if you saw a number up here, how many people are actually currently looking at this strike mission tab that are not in a squad and want to join something, I think that would be over 100 people. Yeah. So to be honest, you would just increase the amount of current looking for groups. Yeah, in my opinion. Yeah. I would love to see us Jantia strike in addition to the raid wing. Yeah, that would be cool, but I think they have gone back to raids for now. Yeah. I will go with Firebrand. What stats do I focus on? I'm very confused on stats. So many different builds for the same elite spec. So it depends. If you want to be a healer, I would go for Harrier. If you want to be a DPS, you would go for Viper for the most part, or Grieving. Yeah, so Condi damage. I would go, if you like to play healer, I would go for Harrier stats. Yeah, so you would go for power, healing power, and concentration. I probably joined a bit late, so not sure how this discussion started, but were people toxic against commanders? So the problem is commanders have to at some point say, okay, you don't fill your role because you don't get enough quickness uptime or something, even though you joined as a quick DPS, for example. And if someone then kicks you, people that get kicked say, oh my god, this commander is toxic, yeah, because he kicked me. But at some point, you are the person as a commander that has to have the power, so to say, to make the squad actually work. And if no one actually says this is not working, you will not succeed, yeah, or at least not in a reasonable amount of time. So I personally think commanders are just always either received as toxic or just bad commanders. And I feel like that's in the community not a really good thing. Yeah. I wish they made dungeons more relevant. Yeah, I guess they do at some point, but not in this game. Maybe in Guild Wars 3 we get dungeons. We will see. I barely command anymore anywhere, unless I really want to get something done. Then I put Papega commander, feel free to help out. Seems like a good thing. And do you get reasonable people in there, or is it just people that are trolling? Yeah, I think dungeons are not really coming back in Guild Wars 2. I think fractals are the dungeons of Guild Wars 2. I really hope that we get dungeons in Guild Wars 3 when it comes out as some kind of 1 to 5 player content that scales with the amount of players in there, and that scales also in terms of difficulty endlessly, and you also get infinite replayability by some kind of procedurally generated maps, and you can farm them solo, and it's really cool. That's my hope, my dream for dungeons in the next game, if they ever release a Guild Wars 3. But in Guild Wars 2, dungeons, you can play them, you can actually make a decent amount of gold. 50 gold per hour or something is possible, 60 gold if you know what you're doing. But don't get me wrong, they are dead. There is no more updates that actually interact with dungeons in a way that actually is going above just increasing the rewards for a week. They will not fix any bugs, they will not bring out a new dungeon pass whatsoever. So keep that in mind. But they are still fun if you like that kind of speedrunning. Yeah. I personally like them, but not everyone actually enjoys this kind of skipping almost everything and just one-shotting a boss then and going to skip everything again and go to the next one. Yeah. I'm not sure if they would ever transfer items to Guild Wars 3, to be honest. I think this is very unlikely, because then people would actually start with some kind of advantage, and it would actually decrease the amount of interest new players would actually have in the game. Yeah. So I personally think they should make some kind of Hall of Monuments thing, and that's about it. So that you get achievements and maybe some skins. Where is it? General, I think. There we go. And then Hall of Monuments. So achievements from Guild Wars 1 and titles and skins that you can get. but nothing that really changes how you play the game. So no legendaries, no better gear or something like that. Just some kind of memory to the old game. That's the only thing that I want to have. Because then would it make them really hard to get, so people really grind Guild Wars 2 while Guild Wars 3 is in development. And that would be really cool, I personally think, but I think it's not really. Maybe you could do a dungeon run in your stream, like one full dungeon with all paths per week. I mean, the Aether path is one of the most annoying one because it's so many puzzles, and if people don't know how to solve those puzzles, they are really, they are in it for a long one. Yeah, that much is for sure. Maybe we can do it. I mean, it's a little bit, if you do it with new people, it's horrible because you know, you have to actually get people that do them fast. Only then it's rewarding. If you take half an hour for one dungeon path, it's one of the worst ways to actually get gold. You have to do all dungeon paths in 1 hour or something like that, a little bit more than 1 hour. And then you get good gold per hour. Yeah, that means something like 20 dungeon paths in 1 hour. I'm not joking. That's what you have to get to of the time to actually make a good gold per hour. So if you take people that don't know what they're doing and you need half an hour for one dungeon path, that's not gonna be fun. Yeah. If they make Hall of Millions for Guild Wars 3, I hope they will include us poor Steam players this time. Yeah, I hope so. I think that's actually quite likely. I think they will release Guild Wars 3, if it will ever come out, on Steam instantly. I think that would be such a big missed opportunity if they did do it. Yeah. Ah, super speed scrapper. Very good. Hi, I've been playing Guild Wars 2 for a while now, but I'm really struggling to stick to one class. Could you name 3 classes where you enjoy no matter what? Maybe that would help narrow it down. Mesmer, Necromancer, and Revenant. Yeah, those 3 I would say is, for me, it doesn't matter which game mode I play. I think I enjoy them in every game mode with every spec. That's my take. That can be completely different for you, but I can also show, I can link you a video on my YouTube channel where I showcase every single class, how it looks in endgame, and that can be interesting for you to help you decide which class is actually for you. Let me check where it is. Because I think showcasing different classes and just, I don't know. So there's the link on Twitch chat. Just showcasing and explaining in a sentence or two how a class is played helps a lot for you to decide which class is actually for you. Maybe you check it out. I hope they don't release it 10 years after the real release on Steam. That would be horrible. I love this game, but I really regret learning that Guild Wars 1 and Steam accounts don't work together for Hall of Monuments after 1k hour of playtime on Steam. Yeah, that's too bad. I feel you. Convergence is worth it? Yes, I would say so. Once per day, they are worth it. If you do them once to 3 times per week, they are even more valued. But if you do them once per day, you actually get a decent amount of value, especially if you're lucky and get some kind of Rune of Holding drops. So that's really nice. Thanks for the follow, by the way, Dino. Yeah, and I guess with that, I will also end today's stream. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a blast. Be sure to check out the giveaway on my YouTube channel. So just check out my YouTube channel, watch the video, and you can participate. Really easy. 2.5k gold or something giveaway right now. So really nice. And I hope to see you around. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice evening. Thanks, Ink, for the follow. Really appreciate it. And see you around. Yes, Poggers. See you. Was a nice stream. See you around. Thanks for the follow, Scorpion.